'Twas the week before Wicked, and we've got sequels, we've got remakes, we've got documentaries streaming and in theaters. Welcome to the Screening Room Podcast.
Are either one of these any good?
Wow, this is a good movie.
It's pretty good.
Well, the director from yesterday doesn't think so.
It stinks.
He's sorry. You waste our film.
It's so bad.
Welcome in. She is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
Or is she Sarah Snook? She's been getting that a lot more lately.
I have been. She has a second TV show. So the last one, what was it called?
Succession?
Succession.
Yeah, we didn't watch it.
No, it was hugely successful, but we never watched it. She's got another new TV show, and so I think that's why all over again I get that. I don't think it's just the hair. I think it behaves in some way that reminds people of me.
It's funny because I looked it up. She's only like 5'5".
I know. I think that's why I always find it funny. Like, really, she's so little, but I'll take it.
But yeah, we've gotten that a couple comments, and we got it this morning from when we did our TV gig. One of the co-hosts said because she's watching her new show.
Yeah, it's all her fault.
Yeah,
like
it said that she reminds her of you, especially like in mannerisms and things. So, but no, not Sarah Snook, and I'm not Steve Martin, which I've gotten before. I got the glasses and the hair, I suppose. But anyway, glad you're here, and we've got a big one to start out with. It's the new Running Man.
First up in theaters, a man joins a game show in which contestants allowed to go anywhere in the world are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. It's the Running Man.
Yeah, it's been almost 40 years. 1987, the original Running Man with Arnold. And now you've gotten all these years later, and Edgar Wright, co-writer and director, has picked it up with Glenn Powell as the star. And I think it wasn't too long ago when I saw the Running Man on cable. And every time you see it now, man, it's so cheesy and it's so cardboard looking. I mean, some of those sets, it looked like
really bad.
They were really bad.
And it makes you wonder. I mean, Schwarzenegger was the biggest star in the universe at the time, so it had to be intentional. Surely he could have commanded a bigger budget film, but or maybe all the money went to him. I don't know.
But it left a legacy, and now almost 40 years later, we've got it picked up, and it's certainly not. It's nowhere near as cheesy.
No.
And it certainly has a bigger budget. I mean, it looks good and there's big action sequences, but it still keeps the quippy, glitzy sort of tone, which seems fitting because it's based around a game show in the dystopian future. And they've made a few changes. Now, I didn't read the original Stephen King book, so I don't know how many of these changes might have been in the original story or not, but I'm talking from the movie. They've made a few changes as to how Ben Richards gets in the game. Yeah. He's not a criminal having to do penance for it. He's trying to get out. There's a bunch of game shows on TV. It's familiar. This dystopian future in many ways is not that unfamiliar.
No.
And there's a direct hilarious spoof on the Kardashians. It's on TV as well, which is very funny. But there's a lot of different game shows. And so a lot of people, a lot of families like Ben Richards need money. And he needs it, especially for his young daughter who's sick and needs care. And so he wants to try to win the money for that, and also to maybe get his entire family, his wife and daughter, out of the slums of Co-op City. Well, one thing leads to another, and we hear he's got a history of insubordination, hot temper, in his past work. And so next thing you know, he's in the Running Man. He didn't want to be in it, but he's in it. And so 30 days, got 30 days himself and two other contestants. And it's not just the celebrity hunters this time with who was it? Nitro or those guys, sort of like American Gladiators.
Yeah.
It's not that cheesy now, but it's not just them. Also, regular people can get involved in this with, of course, surveillance everywhere and the smartphones and everything else, all the smart tech. So that's part of it too. And if he can survive for 30 days, he can win all these new dollars. The money's called new dollars. So that's the goal. And you've got, this time they've separated the roles of Killian. That was Richard Dawson in the original. Killian was also the host of the show. He's not now. Killian is the producer, and that's Josh Brolin.
Who's always great. And he's having a big year,
He's having a big year.
A couple weeks ago, this, and then coming up, he's also in the new Knives Out,
right? Just saw that, and he's great in Knives Out. So, Josh Brolin. And then the host of the show, Bobby T, is Coleman Domingo.
God, he's always so great.
And he is gloriously over the top. He understood the assignment, and he kills it because it's all about the showbiz and getting everybody riled up. So And then, of course, as long as Ben Richards is still in the game and he does well, then the producers start thinking, hey, maybe we have a legitimate final dude here. We can make, get really engaged with the audience. And it's all about ratings. So they start manipulating and everything like that. So it follows a similar formula. And the themes, when you think about the themes that the original Running Man was exploring, they've only gotten worse in the last 40 years. You're talking about weaponized disinformation, class warfare, all surveillance state, all that stuff is just, it's gotten worse. And so we know that this movie is not subtle at all. We just have fun with trying to evade it for 2 hours. And the cast is great. It also includes a couple of great cameos. Michael Cera pops up. He's great. I love it. He's in these cameos.
I do too.
As this sort of underground guy that gives refuge to Ben, although his crazy mom, is a big Running Man fan, and she thinks Ben should get killed. And he's got this booby-trapped house, and it's nuts. So he pops up in one. And then late in the movie, from Coda, excuse me, the girl from Coda, I think Amelia or Jones. Oh man, I'm spacing out on her name, but she was one of those when she popped up. I was like, who? I know that. Who is that woman? And she pops up too in the third act as he's running. Yeah, you're looking at IMDb. It's farther. It's like way down the list. But anyway, so the themes are the same. They're not subtle again in any way. And the third act, the finale, really is it's pretty talky. They find a way to do it organically to explain exactly what's going on, but then they come in for a final finale that's pretty crowd pleasing. So it's well done. It's not great. I'd say it's a tad long. Glenn Powell makes a good hero anti-hero. He's got that roguish charm. He's easy to root for. Of course, we know he's a good guy, and even when they frame him with these doctored videos, as they did in the first one, to make him look like a bad guy, he's still got that charm that appeals to the bloodthirsty hordes that are watching on TV. So he's easy to root for. It's got a good pace. Now, Edgar Wright, if you've seen Edgar Wright films, you're expecting those wipes, and the very clever edits. He doesn't rely on that as much in this.
Which is funny because you think it would have suited the topic but maybe just wanted to do something new.
Yeah, but it's still, got those splashes of color, and it's got some really good, fast moving, frenetic action pieces too. So I think it's really well done. I mean, just revisiting the same territory, but not taking away the cheese factor. And also, it's I'm glad that it came out so soon after The Long Walk, because both of those are, of course, Stephen King properties, and they're very thematically similar.
They are.
It's just that The Long Walk, which I believe came out first, is the story. I think they're only separated by a few years. I think The Long Walk maybe came out in 79 and The Running Man in 82, something like that. But it's like The Running Man is a more overt, over-the-top treatment of some of the same themes and kind of a game show motif of The Long Walk. So I like that they're close together in that as well, and both solid. Yeah. Certainly The Long Walk was trickier to make into as good of a movie as it was. This one is just more bombast, explosions everywhere. We're having fun. It's a big game show. All these performers are great. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Not perfect, but I think it's another good adaptation of Stephen King's having a pretty good year as well. So The Running Man in theaters now.
Next up, the latest from Oz Perkins. A romantic anniversary trip to a secluded cabin turns sinister when a dark presence reveals itself, forcing a couple to confront the property's haunting past. Keeper.
We like us some Oz Perkins.
We do.
And he's been working at a pretty nice clip here lately.
Me? Yeah, it's crazy because the number of years that he went between projects before he did Longlegs was 4 or 5, 6 years. And then Longlegs came out last year. He's already had Monkey this year, this Keeper, and then he's already filming one for next year. So that's 4 in 2 years, which is crazy great.
Crazy.
If you're a big fan, and we are, going back to the very first Blackcoat's Daughter, which is just miraculous and brilliant. And he has such an incredible visual style, but he doesn't ever make the same film twice. I mean, Monkey was a complete 180 from anything else he had ever really done. And Longlegs was as much of a police procedural as it was a horror film.
Yeah.
It was both.
Yeah.
So this one is sort of his take on a Cabin in the Woods movie. And Liz, who is played by Tatiana Maslany, who was She-Hulk, which is so funny to me because she's very small.
Wow.
She's a really small person. We never saw She-Hulk, but I
saw some of the ads, but I never would have known.
No, but she's also the mom for that tiny, tiny segment of the movie Monkey. The mom they lost is her as well.
Okay. And
she's just great. She's so good in this movie. And I really think that's the reason that, besides the directorial flair, that this movie is as good as it is, because she's a New York City artist. She refers to herself as like a subway rat. She's never gone to the woods. She's not a go to the woods kind of person. And she agrees to go with her boyfriend of almost a year, soft-spoken doctor, to his place out in the woods. And she is already, and he got her a beige cardigan as a gift. And so the whole time she's like, why am I doing this? This isn't me. He doesn't know me. Who is he? I don't, like, this is just not me. This is the wrong thing to do. And
give me a cardigan. That's a no. A
beige cardigan for an artist who lives in New York. No, it's a grandma sweater. It's a very conservative garment.
Okay.
And also why is she going to the woods? Mm-hmm. She's just doing things that aren't her. They're not her.
And the boyfriend is Rossif Sutherland.
Yes.
Not familiar with him either.
I'm actually not. No, but he's very good in it. The almost everybody else is really a cameo. Like, it's really these two characters, and they are phenomenal. Both of them are. They're so good. And this sort of what begins is her just questioning what's going on, becomes more paranoia, and then there's a lot of, is this place weird? Is something bad happening, or am I just out of my element? And then it just, of course, grows and grows and grows. It's so gorgeously filmed. I mean, and the architecture of the cabin made me think of how beautiful Gretel and Hansel were. This is another Osgood Perkins movie that is just stunning.
It really is.
And the performances are great. The movie turns to a creature feature rather abruptly, and there's a mythology that goes along with what is wrong with this place and with the creatures that is murky and not incredibly well written. It's beautiful to watch. The way it unfolds is great. I'm not sure. It's Oz Perkins usually writes his own scripts, and this one was written by Nick Leppard, and it's just not as strong as it needed to be. But the performances, and it's very creepy. It's a fun, creepy movie. It's not terrifying, but it is really, really creepy, and the performances are great, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. So the nits I have to pick are pretty small, but they exist, and that's a little uncommon with his films.
Yeah, so it's classified as a little folk horror, and then turns into monster kind of a horror, but not not like a terrifying jump scare a minute type of thing.
Oh no. There are, I wouldn't even call any of them really jump scares. You're just like, what's going on back there? What do I see coming into the frame right now? Oh! So there's creepy. Always, it's this building dread. Third act was a little bit of a disappointment. Not a massive disappointment. It's a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, but usually better when he's writing his own, which I believe he's writing in the next one.
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh, we'll see. But
Nicole Kidman is in it, so that's always a good sign.
All right. Yeah. So the latest from Oz Perkins, still not one of his best, but still up there and definitely worth checking out. And that's in theaters now, called Keeper.
And in theaters, a diamond heist reunites retired horseman illusionists with new performers Greenblatt, Smith, and Sessa as they target dangerous criminals. Now you see me, now you don't.
No.
So why wasn't this the title of the second one?
That's a good question.
What happened there?
Somebody now you see me too.
Yeah. Well, they finally got to it, and it's too late.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember when Now You See Me 2 came out, thinking I couldn't believe that the first movie had made enough money to merit a sequel. And this one is a whole decade later, so I have no idea what made them decide to make another one. But it's Ruben Fleischer is the director, and
Zombieland,
right? Which is where the Now You See Me co-stars Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg were first teamed up, and they do make a really good odd couple, although never as good as Zombieland. They are perfect there. And here, they play magicians, they play illusionists, and the number of illusionists grows exponentially. And so it's really the four horsemen, and now it's these three other people, plus there are always some additional characters. It's a lot of people to keep track of. Luckily, Jesse Eisenberg is here to talk consistently for almost 2 hours. It is crazy how much he talks, how he shows up and explains what happened in the last 2 installments, in case you didn't see it, and why he's talking to the 3 new magicians, and he tells us who they all are and how we can read who they are, and then he tells us what they're going to do, and then what the heist is about, and what's going to happen next. He never stops talking. The movie, it's like a plot summary is what the whole movie is, and it's a movie which should always be show, not tell, and it's a movie about magic, which should never be tell, and it's a heist movie, and it fails on all 3 counts. And Jesse Eisenberg, God bless him, seems like he is in pain delivering this dialogue, just in pain. And I feel a little bad. I do really like Justice Smith. I think he's really good, and he's
one of the new ones.
He does the best job of kind of carving a real character out of this one. And then Sessa from is it Michael Sessa? From
Dominic, I believe.
Dominic, you're right. I'm sorry, Dominic Sessa.
The Holdovers.
The Holdovers. He was so good in The Holdovers, and he's kind of battling Eisenberg is like the quirky, unpleasant, neurotic one. And do we need 2 quirky, unpleasant, neurotic? I don't know. It's not good. I mean, just nothing about it is very good. Nothing. Oh, you know what? That's not true. Rosamund Pike is the villain. She's a South African diamond heiress, and she's great. She's great. But what they have her do is just so ludicrous and stupid.
And we lost Mark Ruffalo. He's not along for this one, right?
Did we?
But we have Morgan Freeman for sure.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
And other surprise guests.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm down for heist movies. I've said it many times. Heist movies are fun until they're not.
Yeah, this is just bad. I wanted it not to be bad because it's clearly it seems aimed at young, like not children, but tweens maybe. I mean, it's not, like a National Treasure kind of a romp. That's what it was like. But oh my God, it's just painful.
Too much talky. Now you see me. Now you hear me. Now you don't. Is in theaters now.
An animated feature on Netflix next. Stevie and her little brother Elliot journey into the wildly absurd landscape of their own dreams to ask the Sandman to grant them the perfect family in your dreams.
Animated in your dreams.
Yes. I was excited about this.
Netflix.
I guess from Netflix. They sent us a stuffed animal. Baloney
months
Tony.
Ago.
They did months ago. They sent us a stuffed animal.
I think it's in the basement. We should have got
Baloney Tony.
Baloney Tony, voiced by Craig Robinson.
I think it might be on the floor over there. Anyway, voiced by Craig Robinson, easily the best part of the movie. He's very, very funny, and he's a stuffed animal that the younger brother lost, or did he? Did his sister Stevie, who is the sort of precocious, very uptight, very perfectionist tween older sister that Baloney Tony just calls Joanne. It's funny. Anyway, did she hide Baloney Tony behind the refrigerator because he always stunk of lunch meat? Maybe. There is so much about this movie that is kind of fascinating and fun because it is about dreams, and the kids, Stevie is afraid that her parents are going to split up. And so she wants the Sandman to grant her wish, but she's got to make it through the dreams to track down the Sandman. So we see a lot of dreams, and they're quite funny. Most of them are really funny, and most of them are. There is a quick montage later on of common, her teeth all fall out at one point, or she's naked. It's inside one of those clothing racks, and the cute boy that she has a crush on is in there. Just it's funny things like that are clever. And there's a lot of talking breakfast cereals, and that's more fun than I would have thought. And Craig Robinson is hilarious as Baloney Tony, and he's got a really funny lot of lines. But outside of that sequence, there's just very little magic to this. And one of the worst parts is when you finally get to the Sandman, which should take everything up a notch, everything just gets beige and bland, like Liz's cardigan. It's just, it's the song and dance number is boring. The actual Sandman is dull. And then they just try to wrap things up very quickly in a way that just doesn't feel suited to the kind of fun that you came up with at first. There's a lot of needle drops, and some of them are really funny. Enter Sandman. That's a funny thing to hear. Wow.
When a kid's movie?
Yeah, in a kid's movie. It's a funny thing. And of course, Sweet Dreams, the Eurythmics song. And I'm not sure how well placed they are. I mean, the whole movie just doesn't, I think, hang together that well. Sometimes the animation is great. Sometimes it's quite unimpressive. So I was just left sort of, I found it like, it's one of those things where lots of it is great. Lots of it is not great. So you push it together and it winds up just being sort of middling.
Yeah. If the goal is to get to the Sandman in the third act, you expect that's going to take it to a high point, and not having that be a letdown is is definitely a weakness.
And then the villain, and as you know, that's my favorite character in any animated movie, and any movie really is the villain. But some of the greatest villains of all time are in animated films. And in this one, her name is Nightmara, and she's bringing the nightmares. And I'm like, I want to. When we finally get to actually meet Nightmara, it's about 14 seconds of just blah. So I was supremely disappointed in the villainy in this movie.
Yeah, that's disappointing too. But it's on Netflix, so if you need to keep the kids
entertained,
busy while you wrap some presents or something, you're going to need that in a few weeks, or maybe now. In Your Dreams is now on Netflix.
Next up in theaters, a family hiding in Roman Egypt. Son known as the Boy doubts guardian the Carpenter, rebelling with mysterious powers. As he uses abilities, they face natural and divine horrors in The Carpenter's Son.
This is a weird movie. Nicolas Cage is at the front, so right away you're thinking, okay, what kind of Cage is it going to be? Is it going to be unhinged Cage? No, not really. It's going to be Cage, the
ill-suited to the movie Cage.
Cage who wandered in from another set. But this is based on, I want to get this right, it's writer-director Lotfi Nathan, and he's basing it on the infancy gospel of Thomas.
Yep.
One of the apocryphal, how do you pronounce that?
Yeah,
apocryphal writings by early Christians that describe events missing in the New Testament.
So if you're not familiar, the New Testament, of course, is 4 gospels, 4 different stories of the life of Christ, but hundreds were written. And when they collected the ones that were going to be in the final Bible, they only chose 4. So allegedly, this is one of those gospels that didn't make it because it was made up. Who knows? Who knows why it didn't make it? But Nicolas Cage thought it was interesting enough to not only star in, but produce.
Yeah. So he is the Carpenter, and then he is with the mother, played by F.K. Twigs. And when we first meet them, they have the young infant boy, and they're trying to save him from King Herod's death sentence to all the young boys in the village. So they managed to make it out. And then the movie kind of goes along years later, and they're laying low, they're living quietly. But as the boy grows up to be a teenager, and then he's played by Noah Jupe. Love seeing Noah Jupe, especially now that he's so grown up. If you're used to seeing him in all those child roles, from Suburbicon to Ford versus Ferrari to so many others. Yeah, he's a young
Quiet Place.
He's a young man. Quiet Place, a young man now, and so he takes over as the boy as a teenager. And by then, there are starting to be whispers in the village about his possible powers, his divine
or diabolical.
Yeah, so there are some whispers about him and attracting attention. And then early on, when Cage is most at the forefront, I thought this was going to be just a horrible train wreck.
Yeah.
But you know what? The more it went on and
got away from
the Carpenter, and more with not only the boy, but then he meets a young girl played by Isla Johnston, the stranger. And then their friendship becomes very interesting. And as you start to see basic just coming of age type themes, the young teenage boy doubting his father, trying to do his own thing. And then in this case, the young boy attracting so much attention and trying to come to grips with his own destiny, maybe his own, what he's able to do, his calling. What is this stranger trying to get him to lead him to? It does become interesting. And I have trouble categorizing it as a horror movie. I mean, there are some sequences, I suppose, but I don't come looking to this for a real horror movie. I think you'll be disappointed.
And it is going to piss off anybody looking for a Christian film.
Oh yeah.
Now, which is not to say that it's like heretical or anything like that, but the treatment is unconventional, to say the least. And so I think, certainly if you're looking for an inspirational, faith-based film, you're going to find some. And if you're Catholic, I mean, my mom, I think she would have hated this movie so very, very much.
And then you've got the case of Nicolas Cage not even attempting any sort of an accent.
Yeah.
And his beard is neatly trimmed when, of course, everyone else in the village, as they would, the men have these long unkempt beards because the salons are closed. So he's just distracting. And he's an icon. Don't get me wrong.
He's a great actor. But
he's a great actor. There's so many reasons to cast him in your movie. He's just miscast.
Yeah, he's absolutely the worst thing that there is about this movie, for sure. I think it's a very interesting movie. And as you said, when you get away from the Cage character, it's fascinating. Again, I'm not sure what audience it appeals to, but it's fascinating where it goes and how it's told, and the performances, the two, Isla Johnson and Noah Jupe, especially when they're together, really, really interesting. And Nicolas Cage just comes in there, like you said, like he just wandered in from another set.
Yeah.
He doesn't look the part. He doesn't sound the part. The performance is wooden. And he's a train wreck.
Yeah, and they really don't give FKA Twigs as the mother.
No.
That's a pretty thankless role.
Yeah,
not really a lot to do there.
No.
But I get it. The main relationship is about the stranger and the boy, and it is compelling.
It is.
In a number of instances.
Yeah.
But it's just such a weird, and I do give Nathan credit for it's an ambitious story to tell.
Yeah.
And it's telling it this way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it doesn't come together to really satisfy anybody. There definitely are moments, but it just seems it leaves unsatisfying, I think, on almost every level. Although if you start watching and you hate it, just give it a little time.
Give it a minute.
Give it a little time. And I think it will compel you a little bit to watch it to the end. So, and that is the Carpenter's Son. And that's in theaters. And I don't know how much of it does have a actually, yeah, I think it has a wider rollout than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
So that's in theaters now.
And on Netflix, a documentary that presents a comprehensive look at Eddie Murphy's life and career, Being Eddie.
Back to Netflix. Who doesn't like Eddie Murphy? If you do, you'll like this because it's pretty much a greatest hits album.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And for people that don't remember or don't realize how big of a rock star Eddie Murphy was
huge
in the 80s.
Huge.
I mean, he was as big. I mean, I remember Steve Martin in the 70s being about as big as I thought a comic could be. And then Eddie Murphy comes along. Not only the fact that he was that popular, but then the 80s and all that the 80s brought with just so many big, huge hit movies and songs and soundtrack albums. This pop culture exploded in the 80s, and he was right there.
And he was so young. He was 19 when he was first on Saturday Night Live. I mean, it's crazy to think how incredibly popular he was at 19.
And he was hilarious.
Oh, he was hilarious.
So funny. That stand-up, those two stand-up specials, Raw and Delirious, groundbreaking. And of course, some of that, and that's some of that early Saturday Night Live stuff is just so funny. And so they go through it. They're not breaking any new ground. I mean, you get the feeling that Eddie Murphy was very much involved, and so it's going to be controlled content here. Don't expect anything like the Pee Wee Herman.
No, or the Steve Martin. Yeah, there are no real revelations.
It's pretty safe,
it's pretty clear that Murphy is in control. I mean, there's no real discussion of his very many bombs. I don't think Norbit comes up once.
No, they do. They talk about
I know they talked about Vampire in Brooklyn for a minute, which was that was a tough go for him.
He's had some bombs, and he's had some bad movies, and he's also had some really, really good movies and really great performances.
Yes.
I still
Bowfinger,
Bowfinger,
because he plays two roles, and he's
should have been nominated for Academy Award.
Oh my God. He's so funny, he's
great.
So funny in a way that he's funny in one character in the way you expect him to be. He's funny in another character doing character work you've never seen. And he's then fantastic. Dolomite is my name.
Dolomite, love it. Of course, Dreamgirls. He's been great, he's very, very good in a lot of movies, and I'm so looking forward to. Apparently, one of his next projects is a George Clinton biography, and I love me some George Clinton. P-Funk.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope that comes to fruition. Also, he mentions in this he's going to be the next Inspector Clouseau.
That's what he said.
They're going to bring up the Pink Panther again, so we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And he also said he's always down for another Shrek. So you don't know, but the point is, it's a great retrospective about.
We're all always down for another shred.
About a career that has had some incredible highs and some lows.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be that insightful.
But it's nice and it's funny.
Nice.
Obviously.
It's nice and it is funny.
Yeah,
it is
funny.
exactly funny. So I mean, if there are a lot worse people to listen to a greatest hits album than Eddie Murphy, especially if you remember all that, it can be a nostalgic trip too. Or if you're younger and wonder what the fuss was about, this might help clue you in.
Yeah.
So Being Eddie, that is on Netflix right now. All right. So I think the Schlocketeer is sitting it out this week. So we hope to catch up next week. See what's up with the studios, but we know what's up with the theaters next week. A little thing called Wicked. What is today's Friday? We're seeing it Monday.
Yeah, we see it Monday.
Monday for good. And Sarah Snook over here cannot wait. Cannot wait.
I the first one surprised me.
I know,
because as you know, I hate that stage show, and I hate.
That's when I knew it was going to be.
I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I read it. I hated it. It's very clever.
Because somebody recommended it to you. Oh, you'll like this, right?
Right. Yeah, my friend did, who's very smart, and because I love the Wicked Witch of the West as a villain, So then, I don't like musicals, so I hate the stage play. I hate it, and I've seen it many times.
That's when I knew. When you liked the movie,
I did.
Oh,
I really did. I really did. It's so good. So I mean, I can't say that I'm like eager, but I'm good to go. I'm good to go see what they do with it next. I'm more excited. The sequel, I'm more excited about. Sisu, Road to Revenge.
Yeah.
If you've not seen the first Sisu, which is only a couple of years ago, give yourself that gift this holiday season because it is glorious. Ooh. Who doesn't want to see Nazis annihilated? And he does it so well.
Blood-soaked mayhem.
That's
from start to finish.
Start to finish.
Great. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
Also, Brendan Fraser is back. Is this his first one since winning the Oscar?
No, because he was in the Scorsese with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Small part. So, but big part for Rental Family is out next week.
Also, Reawakenings.
Time travel is dangerous. I don't know how many times we have to tell you, but it is.
Altered.
And Peter Hager's Day.
I think it's Hugar's.
I can't read your writing.
I know.
Peter Hugar's Day. All right. All those are trying to catch up with Sisu and Wicked for good. But we'll see about that next week. What do you think about this week, though? And The Running Man and Keeper, or Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Being Eddie. What's going on out there? Carpenter's Son.
If you watch that, let us know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know what you think. So always easy to find MaddWolf Columbus on all the socials. Also, MaddWolf.com is the main website. If you like the horror movies, come on over to our horror movie only podcast called Fright Club. Actually, we're recording a new one of those tonight.
That's right.
That's our film series here in Columbus, Ohio. Tonight, we're going to record a podcast on kidnappings.
That's right.
In horror movies. Yeah, and then we'll have that podcast ready to go here probably in a few days. So lots going on, lots of ways to keep in touch. We hope you will. Hope you stay well. Enjoy the beginning of the holiday season here. And until next week, she is Hope Madden.
I am, and he's George Wolf.
And this is the Screening Room Podcast.
See ya.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.